Miss Phil, what we eating tonight?
Star Pizza.
That's crazy.
Let's talk about Star Pizza.
Hey, y'all, this is Ryan Monceaux, and this is Cougar After Thoughts Show. Cats! With this jackass and Michael Batton, wishing he could play on this defense.
Hey, we had a good defense too, but
You absolutely did.
It would be nice to play alongside a really good offense like we've been showing these last few games.
Yeah.
I'm definitely a little envious.
We have 2.5 hours of special teams talk heading your way. I can't wait. Batton probably going to be bored. Towns definitely going to sleep. But before we start that, Star Pizza. Did you get your Star Pizza today? You go for the buffet. You get some before the game. If not, let's go tomorrow. Let's all have some Star Pizza. 3 locations. Shepherd and 59 on Norfolk, Washington, and Harvard. And, of course, in Katy. All 3 locations. We'll talk more about them. Section 12X, they were at the game. I saw more Section 12X stuff in the stadium than I did last week, which is more than SFA. They're coming. I walked into the football facility the other day, and I saw one of the coaches' truck right outside the new facility had the Section 12X right on the dashboard. It's taken over.
And special note for Section 12X, going to run a special for next week until next Friday. All orders, free shipping. Now, take advantage of that because the Blues are still hot, and we got the blue ball game coming soon.
I'm sorry, the what?
The blue ball game.
Okay.
Really,
Ads should have to go through me.
But you get the blue ball game. But everything on the website will be free shipping. At checkout, use the promo code BLUE. BLUE. Not the other way. Not like, not the word that Colorado did tonight.
Yeah, we'll get to that in just a second. Batton, don't take this personally. Hang out just 1 second, all right? Brad.
Oh, yeah.
There was a toilet on the sideline tonight.
Toilet?
It really wasn't a toilet. I think it was just I looked inside it before the game, and there was no toilet.
Entry?
There was no toilet. I think it was just a place for him to change.
What did he just deuce on the floor? Just waffle stomp it?
Well, I think he's wearing Depends. And so he went in there to get fresh. You know what was not fresh? His team. That was the most uninspired effort. The Colorado fans were turning on him. The comments just on our Twitter was like.
In the first quarter, I opened up the game thread on Reddit, and Colorado fans were going ape shit. They really did not like that third string quarterback who looked every bit of a third string quarterback. But I will say, I will give credit where credit is due. That number 7 defensive back for them. What was his name?
This name was hard. Is it
Bayard?
Say his first name.
Taufik Bayard or something like that. but he's a USF transfer. That kid can ball. That kid he was all over the place. He was making plays. I could appreciate him.
It's Tawfiq Bayard. The guy in the press box that does the PA for the press box was struggling with this name.
So if he
but he balled.
He wants to get up that sinking ship.
Well, how about we talk about defense when we bring Batton in? But if you're not doing anything tonight,
here we
Let's
are.
talk about that defense.
Let's talk about that defense.
I mean, first and foremost, I would say just looking at the stats here, Carlos Allen looked like his all-conference form because he will be all-conference. I hope his little banger of an injury that he seemed to have won't be anything long-term. But he looked wonderful out there, and it made me smile seeing him do his thing. I feel like he's been a little quieter than usual, the first 2 games. But, Jalen Gardner led the team in tackles, well, him and Carlos. Just a bunch of energy. Again, it was kind of reminded me of the first game when we talked about, wasn't any crazy stats, but it's because they forced a lot of 3-and-outs, and that's something we love to see. And they really made Colorado look almost like an FCS team. I mean, it really was a dominant performance. I know they put 20 on the board. They did kind of let up in that second quarter. But, things happen. Overall, dominant performance. Shout out Latrell. He looked like he was in a flow state, doing his thing, talking his shit, just like he does. Very impressed with him. Kentrell, not as, everywhere as you usually see him, but simply because everyone else in that front 7 was just playing really well. D-line was dominant. Linebackers were dominant. I mean, they didn't complete nothing down the field. I think that Staub guy had one play where it was down the field for that touchdown. Other than that,
and
like
that was street ball. That wasn't even. I mean, they just
that was
that up.
no, that was. I think Kentrell let him off easy. I think Kentrell could have ended that dude's career. But
he had
business decision.
Yeah, he had Pratt man at the seam. So I mean, a wide receiver should get behind him. I was hoping that a safety could get there, but he also had 4 guys to look at down there. So kind of got out.
It was a good throw, but like you said, it was street ball. Like at this point, they were just searching for something, just throwing it up. I mean, I don't really understand Deion's decision to put Staub in there in the 3rd game of the season. I guess he's just gambling. That's the kind of guy he is, but that's not a move I would have made so early in the season. But hey, good for us. Maybe he won't make that mistake again.
I guess he's not Martin Luther Staub or whatever.
Yeah.
Called him.
That's right. They did say that in the beginning. No, he's a tough guy. He was giving it his all out there. Like you said, that team seemed very flat. I mean, it looked Bush League, but as far as going hard and giving it their all, he was about the only one that I could tell. And of course, that safety who I believe they said his older brother is the all pro safety in the NFL for the Titans. So he's got good lineage there, and hopefully, like you said, he can get off that sinking ship and join ours next year.
Yeah, it looks like he might have made it. Well, I mean, he probably got paid pretty well to make that move. But given where South Florida is and where Colorado is and kind of the projection, might have missed the boat.
Kind of still young, though. Come join the best defense in the Big 12.
And I tell you what, man, I was really looking forward to this game because now they're going. They were going athlete for athlete. They're going against guys that we would recruit. So they're going against peers. and they were just as good, just as dominant as they had been against, the FCS school and then against Rice.
I think they were better, to be honest.
Yeah. And when you go back and you watch the tape, some of the big plays that they picked up were just mental mistakes, taking wrong angles, not playing contain enough, letting people get behind you, just being aggressive. That's just part of it, right? But they weren't able to do that consistent. But this team was, literally flying all over the field. And I can't tell you how impressed I was with the play of the entire defensive line with Allen and with Walls and
Yep, I'm about to say.
Eddie Walls.
Eddie Walls is doing well. He's showing up.
Literally, they just they had a 3-man rush, and they literally just stood there, peeked around, and then went for it, and just threw people around up front. I thought they were fantastic.
Number 18
Mike,
was
Mike
a
Batton.
force to be reckoned with. Yeah,
How many yards did Colorado have in the third quarter?
0.
0. How many did they have in the first quarter? They had 45.
Not much. I know like I said, they kind of blew open the tank in the second quarter, and I was thinking, okay, maybe we got a game. But it's good to see that, they took a little hit and they came out in the third quarter. And completely, you don't see that. Good job by the offense too, managing the ball. But regardless, to have 0 yards in one quarter, Dion needs
The offense kept the ball almost 13 minutes in that quarter.
Wow.
Which is
Yeah.
unreal.
You almost got to give that one to the offense. Wow. I
Almost.
didn't know it was that long, but
Almost.
that is very impressive. Good for them.
I'm glad that you've become a total defense guy. You don't think of yourself as a quarterback anymore. Yeah, you got to give it to the offense, I guess. Yeah.
I got that quarterback in me a little bit, but nah, we're all defense over here. That's who I've become. That's what made me,
Colorado had exactly 300 yards, 168 of them in that second quarter, 14 of their 20 points. That's not a great offensive showing, Jim. That's my analysis of what we saw today.
I got a question for you, Mike. When the defensive line is playing like that, how much easier does that make your job? Where they're keeping you clean and letting you just run and get looks wherever you want.
Well, I think you nailed it right there. It keeps the linebackers clean, and they can just use their athleticism to their advantage and just get to the ball. There's nothing easier than playing free. So when the D-line is dominating like that, the O-line starts panicking, holding on their blocks a lot longer than usual. That gives the linebackers lanes to go make plays, and that's what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Let's look at some comments real quick because I'm going to be honest with you. Some of you are pissing me off.
Let's start with this one.
All right, go ahead. Sorry.
Hey, to celebrate 0 losses, you got 0 shipping. Everybody take a screenshot of this, write this down. Free shipping on all orders. 1 week only till next Friday. Use promo code BLUE at checkout. GoCoogs.
Are you done? Thank you,
Yep.
Frederick. Thank you, Section 12X. That kicker is money. How did we land him in the portal? Ethan Sanchez was at Old Dominion. And, man, he missed a kick. Was it last week that it doinked off the crossbar? And thought, oof, that's not a big league leg. And then tonight he kicks how many did he kick over 50 yards? 20?
Two. And then one 45 yards or something.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, I was gonna save that for later, man.
No, not on this show. Nope.
Yeah.
52, 43, 47, and 49.
Hey, NFL.
Hey, we should have had
NFL.
another one.
Shut up.
Yeah. Should have had another one.
No, that's very impressive. To see that in college is it's rare, honestly. kicking gets a lot better once you go to the NFL. That was some NFL level kicking, and he's going to be on, I'd imagine, a lot of scouts' radars from here on out.
That was U of H's first 5 field goal game since Richie Leone did it in 2013 at Temple when he beat Temple by himself 15-13. Ethan Sanchez actually lost to Colorado tonight 20-18. But get him next time, Ethan.
See, it was that one extra that we passed up. Went for it on fourth down.
That was it.
I was about to say, to put this into perspective for the viewers, like you just said, without him, we lose 20-18. He put 18 points on the board, and that goes without saying. The kickers, they don't get enough recognition. That's huge. And really, he goes 6 for 6. It was close. He would have won us the game just on kicking alone.
And the thing that was most impressive about his makes and everything that he's kicked this year, really, he's usually right down the middle.
Yeah,
it's not like he's we're just hoping he barely gets in and kind of doing the lean for him. He's putting it right down the pipe. That's impressive.
There was a point in fall ball, probably 10 practices in, where he really didn't know who was going to take that job. He was getting challenged by Zach Yoakum and by Jonathan Demas. And he just said, nah. And every kick, it feels like every kick from about the 11th practice until now has been directly down the middle. Everything in pregame is directly down the middle. And, there's a lot of confidence in that guy right now. You got to feel good about him. He's got to feel great about where he is. Is the concern on defense the linebackers? No.
Concern?
Yeah.
You lost me, so no, I'm playing.
Right. Yeah, there you go. So Mike Batton, you're basically going to just start over.
Yeah.
Thankfully, you've only given up 29 points in 3 games. But thought we responded well in the second half defensively. You did.
Well, let's make something real clear. In the second quarter, when they started getting their yards, it happened right after Carlos Allen got hurt.
Yep.
And it ended right when Carlos Allen came back.
Yeah.
Right. And also there was that bullshit grounding penalty on Connor Wegman that kind of turned your tide. Yeah. I have never seen a grounding. This crew will not work next week. That's how bad that call was. And had it cost U of H the game or had been a factor, because his helmet was backwards when he threw that ball.
But yeah, you mentioned, they scored those points after Carlos Allen came out. And this is what I try to tell people when I say Carlos Allen is an amazing player. He doesn't just do his job. He makes plays. He disrupts plays. He makes the offensive coordinator change plays. The dude is different. He's one of the, if not the best football players I ever played with. And a lot of times at that position, they don't always show up in the stat sheet, but you could see his impact once he came off the field. They just started running up down the middle, and it never happened again. The dude destroys gaps and then goes into other people's gaps and makes plays. It's honestly an honor to play with him, and it's awesome to watch him.
It seems like at worst he just causes an entire mess.
Oh yeah,
up there on the offensive line.
He makes a linebacker's job so easy. So easy.
Same guy, Connor Wegman. Connor Wegman looking very comfortable as a runner out there. Will we get Burnett back by Texas Tech? I don't think anybody knows the answer to this. I would assume, because Texas Tech is 3 weeks away, 22 days away. Jamarian slammed his hand in a car door.
Oh, God.
And that's, I don't know what exactly the damage is, but it can't be good. And so it's going to take some time. You had some weird freak injuries tonight. You had them this week. There's a situation with an offensive lineman. I'm not going to go into the details because I don't want to be out of place, but
Prayers
just
up. That's my
weird
dog.
shit is happening. David and Duke White, that was not good, and I would be very surprised if he plays again this year. You had some other injuries, perhaps a concussion or two. It's rough. Jaden York looked like he got banged up pretty hard.
Yeah, in games like this, when stakes are high, energy is high, people are flying around. Unfortunately, things like this can happen. I'm praying for David. Like you said, it didn't look good. Looked pretty gruesome, and he's a good guy, and he was my locker mate actually last year. So I'm hoping, maybe it ain't as bad as it looked.
And he was playing. He was playing really well. I was impressed. He's struggled so far this year, but he came out and played really well. And it sucks that he got rolled up the way he did. I mean, it looked like that looked painful.
It did.
It's a good win. Sucks that my section is always full of the away team. Well, if you stayed past the middle of the third quarter, it probably wasn't, because the black in this stadium, the black shirts that we could see, completely disappeared by the start of the fourth quarter. That third quarter had to be the most frustrating thing to watch as a Colorado fan. When your defense cannot get off the field. U of H went on a 17-play drive. I can't remember a longer drive.
17 play, 57 yards or something like that?
60, 65 yards.
I love it.
You got 3 points out of it.
What's funny too is, like, isn't this the team that's supposed to be, the king of the portal? I didn't see no playmakers out there. I didn't see any dogs out there besides Byard. I didn't see really anything out there, and I'm just kind of wondering what the hell is going on.
So I did a couple podcasts this week with Colorado people who were great. Had a lot of fun, both of them. They told me about Sincere Brown, the receiver. Did he have a second catch? He had one for 2 yards early, and I don't think he caught another ball. Maybe
two catches, 15 yards.
Okay. I think you'll take that. And then a freshman on the defensive line whose last name is Davis Swain.
He had a good game.
EDS is what they call him. He did have a good game.
Half a sack.
I was watching him.
Yeah.
But nobody that just blew you away.
No. It looked bad. It was really complete dominance. I don't even think the score, although it's a dominant, hey, this is a good looking score, I just don't think it tells the full story. I think that second quarter was kind of a fluke. I really almost want to say those 14 points. I mean, I guess, they earned it, but to me, it seemed more of like a 36-6 game.
And it could have been 55-6, really.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, we left a ton of points out there.
A ton.
Well, in that second quarter, you also think we're down Carlos, so we're making do with that. But then we get that the pass interference on McCutcheon. I think his one mistake tonight.
Mm-hmm.
That changed that drive, and that gave them a little bit of air, and they drove down and ended up scoring. Things happen, but they didn't, outside of that second quarter, or that few minutes they had in the second quarter, they didn't pose it. I wasn't even worried with them. They didn't seem like they posed much of a threat.
Not at all.
I was just hoping. I was getting a little antsy there at the end. It's like this team has no business being even 2 scores down, and bad things happen when you let a team that you've dramatically better than stay in the game.
Yeah, I was having some of those thoughts too. I was like, oof, 16 points, get a score, 2 points, hit an onside kick, and back in it. So, good thing we didn't. Yeah.
That's why I'm sitting there thinking, we're up by 16. It's like this. I would be calm if we would have just kicked that damn field goal, like I said.
You don't think it's worth going for that half yard? Which
no, because we were up by 19. You kick the field goal there, you're up by 22, so you're up by 3 touchdowns.
But you also crushed 3 minutes off the clock.
Here's my philosophy.
Half a yard.
Here's my philosophy. I don't want I look at each play as a win. Somebody wins or loses each play. I don't want my opponent to have any wins at all. So if they stop us on fourth down or we stop ourselves on fourth down, that's a win for them. But if I kick a field goal, that's a win for me. And that also, it also has the benefit of putting us 3 touchdowns ahead.
I just think Willie is very conservative, but there are times when he says, "We're good." You think your team's going to go get a half yard.
True.
And I have no issue. Like, I love taking the points, always, always, always. But in that situation, getting a half yard, I say to my guys, go get that fucking yard and end this game right here. You go up 22, it's probably over, but who knows? But I really like going for it there. I think aggression is good. And telling your players, I believe in you, go do it. It's good too.
I think y'all both have really good points.
No, his point's stupid.
Well, I'm gonna have to side with him, honestly. I think in that situation,
we don't need him. Fuck that guy. There is no. This is bullshit.
Are you kidding me?
Ganging up on you.
You gotta. This is how I look at it, right? Like he was saying, it's a momentum-based game. You take those points. You already have so much momentum. You get to keep it. What happens if they made a stop on that fourth down and next play they get a 90-yard touchdown, or they strip the ball and they pick it up and run for a touchdown? And we can talk about what ifs all day, but your kicker is 5 for 6. You take those points, you keep the momentum. You're up by 3 scores. To me, I'm taking the points right there to keep the momentum, and that's my reason. But a little inside, they have a book and they go strictly based off statistics. Now, I can't 100% tell you if they, freestyle it sometimes, but they have like every single situation on these books for fourth downs. And if the statistics say, there's a 60% chance you're going to get it right here, well, they're going to go for it no matter what. So that's kind of how they look at it. I don't know the exact details of that book. I haven't taken a look at it myself, but they have explained it to us, in team meetings. And I imagine that in that situation, according to their book, it said go for it.
Okay.
So suck it, Ryan.
Well, hey,
Well,
I don't like your attitude.
According to the book, Ryan's got us beat, but
yeah.
Book said, I'm pretty sure the book said go for it, and that's why they went for it.
Hey, Dana said playing defense is the way to go in overtime. Dana goes against the book in overtime.
Why are we talking about him?
Oh, we're going to talk about him. But I use just little quips.
Yeah. Boogie and Wigman got that chemistry going. Need one more option to develop along with the big three, Amare, Boogie, and Kozil. And that's 3 pretty good guys. I think you're going to see a lot more of Dean Connors catching the ball out of the backfield. Stacey Snead can do it, and he's shown you that time and time again. Dean came out of the game in the first half, and Stacey just goes in there and does what he does. He had 9 for 35, but he had a 14-yarder. That guy is so dependable and so helpful to your team.
Wearing the 44 good. He's doing the 44 right.
Yeah.
Dependable, just baller.
Yeah.
He said, someone alongside Stephon Johnson and Tanner Kozil. Amari Thomas had a really solid game, I thought.
Yeah, they definitely. Amari, I think Connor Wigman trusts him more than he trusts Kozil.
Yeah.
Because he can just throw it to his spot and know that Amari Thomas is going to be there when the ball comes down. And
Absolutely.
He did it 3 times tonight, and Amari caught all 3. One for a big 4th down.
Yep, some tough catches too.
On that third quarter 17-play drive. I don't think Colorado has a quarterback. Were both of you surprised that they kept that guy in the entire night?
Yeah, I was very surprised, but I don't know if I heard this correctly, but in the beginning they did mention that maybe Dion said that he lets the team pick their quarterback and not the coaches. They were going on about a story about how when they gave him the game ball, the team went crazy or something. I don't know. I might have heard that incorrectly, but um, I I don't know why they kept him in that whole time. Um, Maybe it was something to do with what I just said, but yeah, it was very interesting to see how that all played out.
Before this year, had Dion ever had a quarterback that wasn't his son? I think Shador was the quarterback the entire time he's been a head coach.
Yeah,
I believe so.
And so this year he started someone, he put in the 5-star freshman, and then tonight he starts this guy. He's been quick trigger this whole time, but it sure wasn't tonight. And
I have no clue what I'm talking about here, so I'm gonna
yes, accurate.
But it almost felt like he's trying to deliver a message. Like maybe there's some he wasn't happy with some practice work or film work or off the field work. It could. I'm not saying anything like bad personally. What I'm talking about is guys just might not be putting in the effort that he wants. It felt like he's delivering a message, kind of like back in the Rob Gray in basketball, whenever he got sat, and that was the message that you're not untouchable.
Yeah, at SMU.
That would just be a weird message to send. I think it does kind of seem that way, but your first conference game,
Yeah,
be an interesting and bold message to make. But hey, I guess it is just the first game in the Big 12.
I mean, let's be real. The kid didn't have a whole lot of help with people dropping balls.
No,
he was also inaccurate as hell.
Yeah.
They had 7 incompletions in a row at one point in the second half. 6 of them were drops. 1 was an interception. It was the worst alligator arm stretch I've probably ever seen in a game. I've just never seen guys just not want to have anything to do with the defense.
That goes back to practice, and then that goes back to the coach. So I think Dion's got, he talks a big game. He's got to look himself in the mirror and get his guys right. That's unacceptable. It looked like high school out there. Honestly, their offense, it looked.
What I think you brought up previously about supposedly they're getting in all these really good transfers and whatnot. I think that they do have talent, but what you're seeing right now, what you saw tonight, is the difference between coaches who know how to coach and guys who just want to recruit players and let the players go and do what they do.
Yeah.
The guys coming here, they are players that are a fit for what we're trying to accomplish, and they're being coached to be the best that they can possibly be. Things like on the other side, they bring in a lot of really good, a lot of really touted talent, and then you just go out and hope that they perform. And if they don't, then you get another one.
Yeah.
It's not a it's like what Willie says, this is a development program.
Right. Yeah. And it kind of reminds me of like, give a basketball example, but it's like when the Nets brought together, James Harden, Kevin Durant, and Kyrie Irving, and everyone thought, they were going to go to the championship and win it all. And I mean, they were terrible together.
Yep.
Just doesn't always work out that way. It's
I mean, everybody's got to play a role,
Yeah.
That's
everyone can't be a star, and I feel like he probably does sell that, to Colorado. He's like, hey, come be in front of the cameras, come be a star. So everyone comes in with, a cocky attitude, and they got the eye, not the team. And unless you have as much talent as they did last year, that may, work fairly well. But I mean, compared to last year, they had a first round talent at quarterback, arguably. They had a Heisman Trophy winner, and all four of their receivers, they kept saying last year, are all on a 53-man roster. I mean, that's pretty unheard of in college. So, you take that away, and you expect your team to just go out there and play. Like, no, it's going to require more coaching, and it's like we just saw, it didn't look too good. So.
Mhm. I mean, it's the attention to detail. It's the focus, the discipline, the responsibility that coaches put on players. Like you can look at the difference 1 year between Alabama and with Saban, and then Alabama with DeBoer. DeBoer's not a terrible coach, but
He's not Saban.
Saban had that X factor that
Yep.
he hammers everybody, and everybody stays in line and does exactly what they want. The minute he's gone, everybody just kind of looks like they just kind of, whew, okay, breathe easy a little bit, because
Yeah.
it's hard. It's hard to coach like that.
Yeah, you the best coaches build cultures that foster brotherhood on your team, and the best of each player comes out when each person is playing for each other. And I think
Right.
Saban knew how to do that. He made sure they realized it was team first. And when each person is playing for the person beside them, that's when teams are able to win championships. When you got a team that's full of dudes that just want to do they're going to quit when things get tough. And to me, that's what I saw with Colorado. It seemed like there was no fire besides the quarterback and that one safety. And they couldn't do everything on their own. And so that's what you got to do. You got to cultivate a culture where everyone has the same goal in mind, and it's the team and it's win. And so when things get tough, they can lean on each other and go out there and fight and not roll over and quit. And like you said, I think DeBoer for Alabama is having a hard time with that, because their team kind of looked the same when they started losing. They kind of just, there was no fire, there was no real fight back. They were just going through the motions, and Colorado was definitely mirroring that same kind of energy. And Houston was just, Fritz is amazing at cultivating culture, and everyone on that team, there's some guys, trust me, that are very self-centered that I saw change throughout the year, and I know he's changed them even more. And I think this team is closer than they were even last year, and you can see it. Everyone's fighting, everyone's hyping each other up. No one's doing their own thing. Everyone's same goal, and everyone's fighting alongside each other.
How does a coach change a selfish person's point of view or their motivation? How does he do that?
I think it just boils down to how he shows up every day. You got to lead with action first. And I'm not saying someone like DeBoer isn't doing that, but maybe he's treating certain players a little differently. Maybe he's focusing too much on plays and other stuff that doesn't help cultivate a positive culture like Fritz did so well, that Saban does so well. I think you have to bring people together and treat everyone exactly the same. Don't make friends with the players. You got to treat them with respect, of course, but let them understand that, hey, you're not better than anyone else, but
Yeah.
I love you, and I want us to win. So that's a hard question to answer. I don't have the exact answer for it, but if you just spend a week with Fritz, I think that would be the exact example that you'd be looking for.
I
Well,
am
I think-
actually super excited to not spend a week with Fritz right now. I get a week off, and I need it.
That's the X factor. That's what
Yeah.
That's what separates really good coaches. I mean, there's a lot of guys out there who might be just brilliant strategists and tacticians and can sit up there and tear up a whiteboard like nobody's business and just be the smartest person in the room. But at the end of the day, the coaches who are going to succeed are leader of men. They're ones who make players better, not just the best that they can be, but better than you thought you could be.
And the best teammate they can be.
Yeah. And you know that they're able to get players to police themselves.
Right.
You know, it's of course teams are going to get close, and they're usually probably going to be friends, but you have to get them to where they hold each other accountable.
Yes,
Not
sir.
where they let, you know, the people beside them, you know, slack off or do their own thing. Everybody holds each other to the same standard.
Yeah, and Fritz always used to say the best teams are player-led teams. And I think his choice of words, his choice of leadership helps cultivate that. He allows that to cultivate in the right way.
Yep.
Okay, we're going to get to a few more comments. Sanchez, maybe the most thoughtful kicker I've ever heard. That could be true.
I don't know.
We have experience with some really unthoughtful kickers who, frankly, just half-ass their way through everything. So good for him for being a good dude instead of Jack, what's his name, in San Antonio.
Yeah, Jack's the only kicker I've ever heard from.
Oh, well,
Boy, Martin.
that's dumb. He texted me the entire game about Ethan Sanchez, but I was just telling him U of H really upgraded at kicker. And he said, yeah, but he can't make that jump into the stands like me. So, yeah, you got that going for you there, Martin.
Jack was a pretty good athlete, you know.
Jack's a great athlete. Jack
really was.
left U of H and went and got completely ripped. That dude is huge now. He's bigger than you. I mean,
No.
he is. I tell you, I saw him in San Antonio and it was like, what
No
happened
way.
to you?
I gotta hit him up and say, hey man, let me see that physique real quick. Hold up.
Okay, bro.
So is he
Bro.
Jack Martrin?
Pause.
I don't know what that means. I'm just gonna. New Mexico is kicking the crap out of UCLA, and God bless
Wow.
the Lobos for it.
That makes me so happy.
Yeah. Don't chase the money.
We're all Lobos tonight.
I don't know
Make the
why.
points.
I can't put my finger on it. I don't know when it started, but all my life I've hated UCLA.
Yeah,
All my life.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Maybe I didn't like Mark Harmon or something. I don't know.
I have no opinion.
I really don't think that if Mark Harmon is the line in the sand for you,
Never heard of him.
he's an actor. It doesn't matter. Still wish they'd kicked the field goal rather than go for it. Michael, you were also wrong. Great game, but it sucks that it had to be on a Friday. You had a standalone national game on a Friday night. It's
what's
going to
that?
happen. You're always going to play this. Embrace it.
What's bad about it being on a Friday?
People, because of the traffic and getting into the stadium, and
Yeah.
I mean, that's rough. And it takes away a tailgating day, which I
Okay.
totally understand. Half the point of college football is the tailgate. I'm totally for it. Old Dominion gave us Jake Herslow as well. I forgot about that. I love that guy. He was such a good dude. Not sure why they stopped going to Koziel later in the game due to such a weapon. They really stopped throwing the ball. They threw the bomb to Stefan Johnson.
Yeah.
But the plan was to wear Colorado down, to make them quit. And you know what they did? They quit.
Clip.
Well, and, you know, the good thing is that we saw a couple of new things tonight, and actually what I asked for before the Rice game is exactly what they did this game. Is they got Boogie the ball with different looks. You know, first when they got him on I guess it was credited as a run. They got him on a swing pass out there to the left side, and then they got him on a drag after they cleared everything out, which is fantastic. You get that guy involved in the game and kind of get the rhythm going.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden that opens up a lot of different things. And then, you had Tanner make a couple of catches early on. So that all of a sudden it occupies that safety in that linebacker. And so then that gives you more freedom on the outside. And then you've got some matchup issues. Who are you gonna focus on? What are you going to take away? Because you can't take away everything.
Yeah, they could have game planned the tight end Kozel. He's such a threat. Maybe he just wasn't as open as
for
he used
sure
to
they
be.
did.
Yeah, and it left Boogie, maybe some more one-on-one opportunities. Another thing I saw that I really liked was Wigman was not afraid to take shots down the field, whether that was a coach in his ear or just him on his own. It's really good to see that even early on because, he missed a couple of them, but, I think he was getting his targeting down and eventually, boom, that one hit. And it was a beautiful thing to see. You love to see that, a good go ball. Just a great throw, great catch. Couldn't have put it any better. And I think, like you said, they're getting that chemistry down. And as the season goes on, in the beginning of the game, he's going to start hitting those too. And I think it's going to be fun to watch.
And also, one of the things that stood out after that thing happened, but I only saw one kind of off target snap.
That's good.
I only saw one. That's been a problem. But
for sure,
it's easy to overlook. But
that's huge.
Center to quarterback exchange is clean. It's one less thing he has to worry about. That gets him in a rhythm.
The worst snap of the night,
right, high, low, or whatever. That you got to look at what you're doing with the receivers. You got to look at it in beats, not seconds, but in beats. 1, 2, 3.
Absolutely.
And then you break it down from that. Because each one of those is a step your receiver's taking. So if you're off 2 beats, you got to hurry up and be able to get. You got to make your read while you're trying to fumble around with the ball, and then you got to let it go, hoping that the receiver's going to be there. But if you catch it clean, everything's smooth. Boom, much easier.
You're right.
That was really smart, Brad.
Hey, I dealt with that a lot in high school.
The worst snap of the night was on the punt because U of H only punted one time.
Ooh.
And then Liam Doherty kicked it 56 yards. So,
oh my gosh.
Okay. All right.
Boy to the league.
And that was in the end of the wind.
And that ball hit on the 2-yard line. Backed it up like he is the Masters.
Like a little wedge. Yeah.
Yep.
Shout out to our guy John Daly today. Had a 19 on a hole, which is only one less than Colorado had. So there you go. All the players being interviewed are talking about their confidence in the coach's game plans. Well, yeah, that happens when your coach isn't an idiot. And coaches to win games, not to whatever. Appears to me that Dion is going to be college football's version of Penny Hardaway. The basketball part
not a bad call.
Yeah. Coach Sampson said it best. If you don't want problems, don't recruit them. Kelvin Sampson style. If I can lose with you, I can damn sure lose without you. Players are learning how to win. I think this is maybe the most important thing we have not talked about.
Yep.
Is this program for the last few years has been a losing program. And when you bring all these new players in, they don't know how to win with each other. They don't know how to win on this level and doing the things that it takes to win, both during the week and in the game. And, I think at halftime, the conversation was you had them and you let them back in. Now go get it done. And 17 play, 13-minute third quarter is a hell of a way to say, yeah, we're going to go do this. Mm-hmm. So this team learning how to win is such a big deal.
and that's what winning football teams do. They get punched in the mouth. They look over the game plan. They rally back and they punch right back. But maybe they hit them 2 more times, and we hit them like 5 more times, and they never got a hit on us again. That's what winning football teams do. It's not always going to be perfect. Like I kind of mentioned earlier, that second quarter, it was kind of a fluke, I would say, and I think the end of the game showed that. But that's, like I said, it's going to happen. It's football. It's unpredictable. Plays are just going to happen. There's 11. There's 22 people out there. Things happen. It's just how you respond, and winning teams respond with no mercy, and that's what they did.
And
If you give up only 20 points for the rest of the year,
you're
you're going to be in the playoff.
Unless you had our offense last year, but
yes.
Well, yeah, that
Exactly.
we gave up 20 points last year, but we scored only 14. So.
Or none
Yeah,
or
0-3
for 8 straight quarters.
I was thinking about going back to quarterback. I'm telling you.
It could not have been.
I know what's going to ask you. For a couple of years now, we would line up offensively and do a lot of zone read looks, and they turned into just dives. Last year, were we calling? Were those actual option plays, or were those just meant for a dive? Because
You realize that guy was in the defensive room, not in the quarterback room.
he
right?
still sees the game tape. They watch that, but the reason why I asked that is because a couple of times this year already, Connor has pulled the ball and got a ton of yards. And I would sit there and I would watch replays last year, and there's 30 yards of open room if the quarterback just pulls the ball. So I didn't know if they were called that way or he had the option.
I didn't, I don't have the exact answer because I don't know. But the truth is, it's one or two ways. Either the quarterback is just completely missing out on open runs that he should be pulling, which I think is less likely to answer. I think more likely the answer is, the coach is just he's not instilling that in the game plan. A good coach will say, even on plays that aren't reads, should tell the quarterback, hey, if it's there, just take it. Don't be afraid. And I did that a lot in high school. It wasn't necessarily a zone read, but sometimes it's just there and it's obvious. Just go ahead and pull it. And maybe, that's what Connor's doing. Maybe some of these plays are just dives, but they're saying they're allowing him to freestyle it a little bit. And maybe last year they weren't.
Yeah. I mean, that because it's so many times you watch the game back, it's like, oh my God, there's 15 yards of just empty space.
If he would have just pulled it, it's like, dang. And Connor's doing that, and he's doing a really good job at it. It's not the easiest thing to do. Sometimes these DNs, that they'll trick you. So it happens so fast.
Right.
But once you get it down, it's a deadly weapon to have, and hopefully they continue to do it.
Absolutely. I mean, I think the more threats you can show them, the more you're going to make the defense think. And there's nothing that slows the defense down better than making them think.
Yeah, and it'll take, they're going to have to start respecting the quarterback run more. It's going to take another man out of the box because they're going to say, hey, don't, get back into the box until you're 100% certain the quarterback doesn't have it. And that'll allow our running backs to break free a lot easier.
Yeah, I mean, if I can freeze you for a beat or two, then I can get a wide receiver behind you, and then I can get a step on you in any direction. Absolutely. Or you just snap some pegs like Connor did on his touchdown run.
Yeah, that was it's a hard tackle to make, nonetheless, especially with a quarterback for some reason. I hope you never find the clip, but that actually happened to me pretty much just like that. It wasn't a touchdown, but the quarterback did get me like that, literally just like that. So kind of felt for the guy, but hey, I'm a Coug fan, so
Hey, it's part of it, right?
yeah.
Question about the status of the offensive line, Agnello and Ndukwe. I'm not very confident in Ndukwe returning this year, but I've been wrong about injuries before. Agnello, I don't think is a huge deal. I think it's pretty good that, I don't know why you're on the screen. I think it's really good for Agnello that you have a week off and
I think
you
it's
come
good
back
for all
in
of
2
them.
weeks. Well, it's certainly good for all of them, but I think Agnello can play in 2 weeks. He had an ice pack on his knee, but Ndukwe's was more severe.
I mean, it literally seemed like we had about 15 plays in a row where somebody was down every single play.
Yeah.
A lot of knees, a lot of legs. Guys, Colorado guys were on the ground and guys were going over the top on it.
And what was
seemed like a lot.
Number 22?
I think his wrist.
Mark
I feel like he
Stampley.
rolled. I don't know. I could be, seeing him wrong, but I thought
Stampley was he seemed like he had some sort of concussion or ding. He did not look great.
Well, see, I thought like Batton said, I thought he hurt his wrist like when he rolled over, but then when he stood up, he nearly fell down. It's like, oh shit.
Okay. I didn't see that.
And that could be lightheaded or something, but they did take him into the tent and the doctors were in there. It wasn't just the training staff. So I think that'll sort itself out.
Week out.
Yeah.
Friendly fire.
I'm probably
Safety's
not
a dangerous position.
Yeah.
I just assume all safeties, especially ones who like to hit, are just insane.
No, they are. Like, I think a lot of people think that linebacker is like the toughest position. Don't get me wrong, it is. Safeties are crazy. Crazy.
Yeah, they're running even further.
They got to take on the running back full speed. Like, that's not fun at all. Receivers coming across the middle. I like to be in the box personally.
Yeah.
Okay. Star Pizza. Go get you some Star Pizza. You're not going to do it right now because they're closed. Section 12X. Free shipping through next Friday. The promo code is BLUE, BLUE, as Towns so put it. What were you showing? What was that?
That is Victory Carrot Cake from Star Pizza.
Uh-huh.
It's delicious.
So they did something different for us in the press box tonight. In the second quarter, they put out chocolate cake with chocolate icing. And I was sitting next to Sam Kahn from The Athletic, and he went and got a slice. And I was like, mother, son of a... And so I went and got 3 slices.
Great.
Because why get up 2 more times? And so I got through 2. I didn't make it through the 3rd, but I got through 2, and it was pretty damn good. And so keep doing that, U of H. We'll be fine if you keep doing that. Yeah. Sunday night, talking about them Cougars, I think we're going to have possibly have a defensive coordinator to be named. We're not going to name anybody, but possibly a defensive coordinator Sunday night, 8 o'clock. Check that out. And then we're taking next week off because they have a week off. And so we're taking the week with them. But we'll be here this weekend talking to potentially defensive coordinators whose 2 names start with a vowel. But I'm not going to tell you who it is. I'm not going to tell you who it is. So early in this game, Colorado tried swing passes to both sides of the field, and U of H defended from sideline to sideline better than I've ever remembered them defending. I thought they messed with Colorado's head early and defended 53 yards. It was really impressive what they did. I think Ethan Sanchez was your MVP. You do have some offensive line injuries that could be a problem. Your second MVP is the off week. But I think the way people are going to feel tonight compared to how they felt 6 days ago at Rice Stadium or 2 weeks ago with SFA is night and day.
Nope.
I guess you're.
Not if you believe from the beginning.
What's that?
Not if you believe from the beginning.
You believe from the beginning?
Yep.
Yeah.
You remember?
We could have given you a test and asked you to
I was
name
thinking-
5 of these guys.
I was.
You would have.
Oh no, I didn't know who the hell they were. But I told you early on, all the problems that we saw looked like guys who were the first time ever playing together in an offense. They had no clue what they were doing. That looked completely different. I mean, it improved last week, and it looked completely different tonight. That first half or the first quarter, they came out. Let's put it this way. This is the first time this year I saw offensive linemen get to the second level and take on linebackers head on. First time. It's like, holy shit. It's like they know the plays now. They're starting to understand, and they look like a cohesive unit. They look like how the defense plays, aggressive and in control.
Yeah, I think that the MVP of this game is Coach Fritz because he clearly got his guys ready to play. Across the board, everyone looked great, and that goes down to coaches, okay? It's their job to get the players ready to play. And you know, sometimes they do better than that than other weeks. This week he had them ready to play. And to me, it looked like he collected all the Infinity Stones this offseason. Kicker, punter, O-line was blocking in the run game, pass game. You know, like you just said, they're running across the field. Coach Fritz, what is the shirt that he wears? You know, play through the whistle. I mean, nobody, I guarantee, in college football harps on that more than him. Okay, so I'm not surprised that the defense is running across the field, right? I think we're going to see that the rest of the season. And, you know, everyone was playing well. So shout out to Coach Fritz. I think this is going to be one of those games that we look back on for the rest of his career with Houston that, you know, really jump-started a lot of great things. One can hope.
You know, no offense to last year, the quote-unquote surprise
No offense
wins.
to last year.
But a few of those wins that we pulled out of Kansas State, they felt like we were hanging on, just hanging
Scratching
on
and clawing.
Yeah, and just doing everything we can to win, and then everything possible to not lose. Tonight felt like kind of a turning point in that. It was almost kind of like how we came out against TCU. Came out to really put it on them.
Right, and it stayed the whole game.
Yeah.
TCU, we kind of started falling apart a little bit, you know, at least offense, certainly.
Yeah.
But this, we had full control throughout the, you know, again, the second quarter, but you could feel it. The viewer could tell we were in full control, and although we lost a little bit in the second, we quickly got back in full control, and that's a really good sign. Like we were just saying, you didn't really see a game like that last year. Even the Rice game last year. I mean, it was pretty dominant, but this, like you said, it feels like a turning point. I think it's still too early to say, you know, this team is destined for greatness. Colorado could be a lot worse than we know, but
Could be.
regardless, we played a really good game, and that's something to be proud about.
Yeah. And I feel comfortable that there's 3 more wins out there on this schedule. And for me, that's my only hope is just get to a bowl game.
Thanks.
Get to a bowl game. Because it's been a while. I mean, Speaking of a while, what was it? First time we've been 3-0 since 2016.
Yeah, that's huge. So, like I said, I'm a little envious.
That's a long ass time ago.
Yeah. And You hadn't been 1-0 in the conference, and it feels like a million years. But okay, Duarte said Ndukwe was transported to the hospital per Willie Fritz. I did not see that. Hopefully we can get some more information. Yeah, I mean, you thought that perhaps that was going to be the case.
I will say I have to give credit. What's the offensive line coach's name? Nagavi?
Iman, yeah.
Iman Nagavi. He's done a hell of a job with his unit that pays off. You couldn't see it until tonight, because tonight you had to go deep into the depth chart to be able to have guys ready. And I thought they did a hell of a job of keeping going.
Yeah.
You're on your third team right tackle.
Yeah. Shout out Cedric. He's been through a lot of adversity too.
Mm-hmm.
Cedric Melton, and where there's evil, there's good. David goes down, but Cedric has dealt with similar injuries throughout his career, and he was ready to go, and he came in and did his thing.
Yep. I mean, these guys were all ready to go out and contribute, and they did. It was a very impressive performance, top to bottom, and I have to give Nagavi credit for that, because it would be easy for it to all fall apart with those two offensive lineman losses, because those are guys that you were counting on to do well.
But it's more than two.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Dalton Merriman's out. Jason Brooks was not on the injury report. He started the first game. He's been the most consistent player the whole fall. He did not play in the first half of this game. It wasn't until Agnello went out that they put him at left guard. And Ndukwe goes out. You have so many injuries. And Cedric Melton is your fifth or so tackle. And he played most of the game. And it's just.
And he played most of the game, and as soon as he was in there, Colorado was blitzing every single time.
Yeah.
I mean, they were bringing people from all over the place, and he did about as good a job as you could possibly ever ask for.
Not many fans, U of H fans, want to give our OL coach credit for anything. Yeah, I mean, that's not a position that gets a lot of credit, anyways. But yeah, he has not gotten a lot. But
it's a hard job.
He certainly deserves it right now. He's earning the money.
At least for tonight, everything.
Yeah.
Everything. This is a week-to-week business, man. You be on top of the world, and in 2 weeks, all of a sudden,
this week,
we could be dogging it all next week or week after next.
Well, the next step is just playing 4 linemen, because there's not that many more to choose from. So,
what are you doing? Pray nobody else.
I mean, we're still down 2 running backs too.
Yeah, it's it's just, it's not great, but this is the perfect time for an off week.
I guess it's good looking forward, but man, seeing the amount of space that was out there tonight to run, I could just see Rashawn just lighting that up.
Absolutely, he's a fun player to watch. His cuts are crazy. I would have loved this. I was very excited to see him this year in the number 6. But I guess we're just going to see a lot more of 44 and 21.
Yep.
Arizona wins. Poor Kansas State.
Yeah.
What a year it's been. 23-17. Did they get it? Oh, they kicked a field goal at the end. Okay. And New Mexico is up 21-10, and they have the ball and marching again.
Come on, New Mexico.
Lobos. I have a buddy a pretty close friend that is a New Mexico grad, and I have gone to watch them get their asses kicked all over the country. And so good for him if they go to UCLA and win. He went to Michigan to watch them in the opener, and they got boat raced. But good for him.
Ooh. That's right.
Apparently, I'm getting crushed right now for making fun of Jack Martin. Relax. He'll be fine. Poor Jack. Just got home. Praise for Pancake today. That just sounds weird. Praise for Pancake. But yeah, he played well. He did not have the trouble that he had last week. If you had issues with any offensive line play, it certainly wasn't him tonight.
No.
I thought he played pretty well.
Great
I'll be
snaps.
interested to see. Yep.
Let's put it this way: if I don't notice the center, then they played great.
You're right.
The only time I notice them really is when they're snapping the ball, 50 feet over somebody's head, or if they're constantly off target.
It's a tough job.
Yeah. So, I mean, the good thing is that week to week, we've seen improvement. And we have this attitude and this philosophy in basketball, and it's easier to take because there's so many opportunities as far as games go. But in football, one, you got to win, but you want to see continued improvement. And I got to say, I see improvement every single week. I don't see anything falling backwards.
Absolutely.
All right, let's close it out and do some final thoughts so I can get the hell out of this stadium. It's midnight. And, I'm really elderly.
I think you need
Brad,
to light brighter and get closer to the camera.
I'm struggling with the setup. I apologize. I might look like I've had some sun. No tan,
I just figured it was the light baking you.
It could be.
Yeah,
I'm at a stop and go. Yeah. I'm a taquito. Brad, go ahead.
Well, if games are won and lost in the trenches, then the offensive line and the defensive line were my MVPs tonight. I thought they played a hell of a game, even with the adversity that they've had. And when those guys are doing work like you saw tonight, it gives us a chance to beat anybody left on the schedule. All things are possible. I hope they take a little time to enjoy tonight. You got a long weekend for them since they're not playing on Saturday. And then next week's a good week to get healthy. And let's get ready to go off to the left coast and blow some shit up.
All right. Mike.
Yeah, I would just want to go back to my original point. I think the MVP was the coaches. They had these guys ready to play across the board. Like I said, special teams, defense, offense, it all looked good. Fell apart in the second. Just part of the game. It's really about how you respond, and they responded really well. Connor Wigman is really impressing me week by week. Just playing winning football, and he's making it seems like every week he's making tougher and tougher and better throws. He's running the ball better. If I would have to give it MVP, I think it would be him. Absolutely. I think Dean played a really good game too. But I think I would have to go with Wigman, just making great throws. I love how he's taking deep shots down the field, whether he completes them or not, and he's overthrowing them, which I think is, better than underthrowing them, in my opinion. I don't know. We could debate that, but defensive wise, Carlos MVP for me, dominated. Jalen anchored down, led the team in tackles, doing his job, flying around. Corey going in, doing his thing, getting a sack. We got 2 interceptions. I mean, just across the board, did a really good job. That's why I say, the coaches. I think this is Coach Fritz and his culture and his program coming together perfectly. And this is just one step towards a bigger a bigger vision, but this was probably his, I would say, his biggest step forward so far, and I'm excited to see what these not next week, but the week after that holds.
Yeah, I definitely think this is the biggest step. When y'all won games last year, it was kind of a surprise, you know? You just didn't know what team you were getting week to week. But this one is moving ahead every single week. And it's obviously what you would think would happen in year two, but it's good to see it actually happen. Ethan Sanchez is your MVP. I mean, that guy
Forgot about him.
put you
You're right.
on his back. And, you know, kickers get blamed for a lot of stuff. And he had a hell of a night, his career night, and really bailed you out when you failed to get in the end zone. So good for him. Good for this program. This is one of those wins that you can look back and say that's what helped us get where we needed. Today was the 10-year anniversary of beating Louisville in 2015, which did not seem like some huge deal, but was the impetus to you getting to, what was it, 13 wins that year, winning the American, going to the Peach Bowl, beating Florida State. It all had to start somewhere, and that team had to believe, and that was the day it happened. It was 10 years ago today. They started believing when they beat Louisville. This team could be the exact same thing today. You start believing. The quarterback, he's the best quarterback we've seen here in a little while. I think he throws the best ball you've seen in a little while. If you can solidify the offensive line and just, I mean, at this point, it's make it one game without anybody get hurt. I think that'd be a really big deal. And, you know, if you can just get some consistency there where guys can play together for an entire week leading up to a game and then through a game, I think that helps. I think that'd be such a big deal. But you're 3-0, and I really didn't think 3-0 was going to happen. I did not have this as a win. But you go into this bye week or this off week in a great spot. I thought playing these 3 games and getting to that off week was going to be a really big deal. But you won all 3, and now you go to the off week. And so it's an even bigger deal. You're halfway to a bowl, and things are, I mean, it's September 12th. That's pretty good. You've already played a quarter of your schedule, which is the stupidest thing that you wait all year for this. And in 3 weeks or 2 weeks, really, you've played a quarter of your schedule.
Yep.
So,
yeah. And I think, you know, they're going into a bye week. I think this will be we'll see how they handle this, because we didn't handle our bye weeks well last week. I think we took them for granted. Maybe coasted through practice. I imagine Fritz learns from his mistakes. Not that it was necessarily his fault, but he's going to make sure that those same mistakes don't happen. And I know I should know this, but who are they playing after the bye week?
Oregon State.
they go to Oregon State.
Yeah. So, you know, this will be I think this next game will be almost more telling of what kind of team we're going to be watching the rest of the year than this game is, because they're going to go into bye week. You know, are they going to let it get to their heads, or are they going to come out even harder? So I think that'll be interesting to see how they come out here in 2 weeks against Oregon State.
Yeah, you got to learn how to win, and then you got to learn how to live with winning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's some stupidity happening. This little Muppet.
Stat by Starnes.
Yeah. Goofy mother. Miss you, Starnes. You were the start of this show, and thankfully it's moved forward. Thank you, Mike Batton. Thank you, Brad. Star Pizza. Section 12X. And of course, our dear, close, personal friends at the Ritz. We'll see y'all Sunday night with a potential defensive coach who might have a name that sounds good, Armstrong. See y'all Sunday night.